Hi everybody, Mick here from TRAFFIT. Welcome to another edition of InsideHR. And today we are joined by Kasia from BeeTalents. Kasia, so great to see you today.
Hi, great to see you.
This is a super valuable episode for me, specifically because for those of you that have seen the previous episodes of InsideHR, one of the questions we always ask is, who can you follow online, or who do you go to who's a really good example of recruiting? And my last two guests said, you need to follow BeeTalents. So I was like, yes, I have Kasia coming on the show. So we are really looking forward to today's chat. So again, thank you so much, Kasia. And for those who don't know yourself or BeeTalents, could you give me a super short introduction? That would be great.
Sure. So BeeTalents is an IT recruitment company. We help companies to scale their IT teams. And we care about candidate experience and, good overall experience, so that they don't only get hired, but they stay with company for longer. And we also do training for IT recruiters so that they don't confuse Java with JavaScript.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So you're not only helping companies find candidates, but you're also training them to keep candidates, to keep happy candidates, I guess, is the key as well.
Yes, actually, so it's not like giving them pipeline of CVs, but working very closely ideal world, working very closely with companies and explain to them why it's important to answer quickly, why it's important to give feedback. We also have this new service called recruitment process outsourcing, where our recruiter acts as an internal one, and they can not only take care of all the operational processes and recruitment, but also they can take care of all the HR processes, so onboarding, offboarding, taking care of the team while everyone is working remotely, making them engaged all the time, which is not very easy to manage. So this is what we do in a very big nutshell.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you guys have obviously expanded the services as the market has adapted as well, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So one of the things I'm asking, because again, I've mentioned this in other shows, I'm relatively new to the recruitment space. I've been at TRAFFIT just under 3 months now. So I'm asking all those questions that make me sound really silly, but I kind of have this thought in the back of my head that maybe other people are asking these questions as well. So,
okay.
And one thing I found is that preconceptions sometimes of recruitment are very wrong. So somebody thinks you do this, and actually you do all these other things as well. So, when you have a new client or a new lead that comes to BeeTalents, or you meet someone at a trade show, what typically do people think you do, and how different is it to what you actually do?
So most of people who don't know us, who haven't heard about us, they think we work as a typical IT recruitment agency, which, to be perfectly honest, doesn't have a very good PR.
Okay.
So they think they will send us a job description, we will send a pipeline of candidates, and that's it. Once they get hired, then we are paid success fee. But what we do in reality is that before we even decide to work with a client, they start with a kickoff, a call with me or my colleague Pavel, where we establish what has been done so far in the recruitment, what are the expectations, if the client has time for the recruitment process, what they think we can do, how we could help together, how we could help them. And only if we decide, that the offer is attractive to candidate, the company is okay when it comes to treating people and what people say about it, then we say yes, and we can start working together. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, exactly. I think, I was definitely that kind of person that was very unaware of, like you said, we struggle to fill the role. Let's go find an agency. They will fill the role and they will deliver candidates. But it's so much more complex now, but for the right reasons, I guess, right? Because that's what probably BeeTalents was in the beginning, or the industry was that, and it's evolved, right? Is that right?
I'm not sure I understood your question. So
Yeah,
BeeTalents.
so sorry. So what I understand is that in the beginning, like recruitment agencies really were just funneling candidates, but now they've become companies like BeeTalents have really expanded what they do for companies. Is that like, is there a reason for that? Is it because recruitment is more complicated or businesses need more help? How did that evolve?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know what were the beginnings, because I started my IT recruitment career with my previous boss, David Beezer, and he was the first Google person in Europe, and he lives in Paris. So I learned the basics based on the Paris market.
Okay.
So when it comes to Poland, I started working at BeeTalents, and only then I discovered how Polish market looks like. But so usually it worked like this, that I guess big agencies, big companies provided some CVs, and because most of them worked on success fee, they had to take as many projects as possible, and they had to focus on those where they saw the biggest return on investment, which, honestly speaking, it makes sense. But it turned out that clients said that they have very negative experience with agencies, because they felt like they were throwing CVs like spaghettis against the wall. Some will stick, some won't. And that they received a lot of CVs that were completely inadequate. So that's why this, I guess, negative PR. But since 2015, I think a lot of things changed, positively, on the IT recruitment market. The IT recruiters, they are more educated. They know technologies better. Of course, there are still some that maybe don't do their work perfectly, but I guess it happens in every branch of the business. So I guess more and more people now understand, especially in the IT market, in this digital branch, that the candidate is in the center of all the actions, and then employee. That's why we talk about candidate experience during the process, employee experience when they get hired. So that you have to be very honest, and it has to make some logic, like what you promise you'll do as employer, as a company, and what happens when a person joins you as an employee. Because if there is a clash, if these are two completely different aspects, then they will just resign and go to another company.
Yeah, makes sense. One of the things that you've brought up, you've said it kind of, and I see that for you, it's probably part of natural way of explaining. You mentioned that you guys are IT recruiters. Is that something that you decided to kind of go into that? Have you always been in the IT sector, or it's something that you kind of saw and said, okay, IT is so difficult to recruit for, or IT is so popular right now, it's now something that you've kind of doubled down on, IT orientated, or you still do recruitment for other sectors as well?
Okay, so I guess it all started with Ola, our CEO, Ola Pszczoła, which is Ola B. That's why BeeTalents, if anyone doesn't know. And Ola had previous background in the digital and IT market. And when she decided to become a freelancer, she just got requests from the IT market. Then Maciej joined, who is now co-owner of BeeTalents, and that's probably why they decided to expand the company into this direction, because they also had expertise in this area, and there was a lot of companies that really needed help. They trusted Ola at the beginning, and probably that's why we expanded in this direction.
Okay, perfect. That's great. And sorry for the difficult, deep questions. It's just also something for me to understand. So I've got a really cool question, because I think the viewers of hopefully of the film, we're obviously going to talk to people who are recruiters and so on, but I think we're going to find that there's just really some hiring managers inside companies that may not even have any HR support, let's say, or they're growing as a startup, and HR, as we know, isn't always top of the list of the first hires, as we're seeing. What would you say that every company can really benefit from taking on a recruitment partner like BeeTalents, or it's for companies that get to a certain size and a certain development? Like who should be looking at agencies, or who should be looking at trying to maybe do the HR or do the hiring themselves?
Oh my God, it's so much. It so much depends on what kind of company you are and what's your size. So I guess small companies that have like 5 to 10 people and they don't have any investor, I advise them to try to use their network, because cooperation with us is like extra money someone needs to pay. And if you can use your network and you still have good candidates, then like go for it. But if you're in a stage that you don't have time, or you have an investor and you need to scale quickly, or you have no idea how to hire properly, your company doesn't have a good PR, then it might be worth it to at least talk to an agency like BeeTalents, because there are others as well on the market. So there's plenty of choice, and see how they can help, to improve the situation, because ultimately that's the goal, to pay for something that will make your overall situation and your business better.
Yeah, because for me, I'm newly converted to the world of HR, and now I'm definitely on board. Okay. I agree and understand, but yeah, because again, I think that very first dimensional thought process is, okay, I tried to hire on my own. I didn't get any candidates because I posted on Facebook and that's all I did, or I got some candidates but they didn't work out. I'm gonna go and look for someone that can bring me more candidates. However, I think that now, that especially in IT and in the technology space, there's so many more aspects to also consider, right? We have to think about candidate experience, time to hire, successful candidates. That is something that, is that something when you talk to your clients, they find they are already ready to do that, or they're like, oh my God, I didn't think about it? Like, how do you feel like, the typical company is thinking about these things right now?
It varies. Oh my God, so much.
Yeah.
It really varies. I would compare, now an example came to my mind. I would compare working with IT agency like with your personal trainer. So let's say someone wants to lose weight. They can do it on their own, of course. They can go jogging, they can go to gym and try on their own. But they also can use help of a personal trainer. So meet with him or her twice a week, get a special diet, and be monitored weekly and measure the results week by week, so that they can see if they go into right direction. And probably the second option, of course it costs extra money, but it will bring the results faster. And later on you will also get an advice how to live your life without this diet, and not put on weight, compared to you lose your weight, and then you get this effect that you put on weight again, and you don't know what's wrong and what happened. So this is the maybe a good comparison. And when it comes to companies, most of them who come to us, they tried on their own and it didn't work out, and that makes absolutely that makes sense. But some companies, they know how to do it well. They have great PR, like for example Spartus, but they need to hire so many people that they are not able to do it like on their own, and they just need extra like person to help them. So they have nothing to improve, because their processes are so good, but they lack in people, like temporarily for like half a year, to help them hire this amount of developers. So that's the scale from zero to hero.
We can stay even with the personal trainer analogy. It's definitely me. I know I should work out. I know we should, but I've got so much work that I need a personal trainer that's just going to kick me. It's not to bring the knowledge, it's to bring the motivation or the assistance, right?
But it works exactly like this. Listen, if you like hiring manager, but your main work is to code and manage your team of developers,
Yep.
This hiring area takes some of your time, but it's kind of your priority, but it's not. And if you have recruiter who will like have weekly calls with you, who will catch up with you, who will ping you on Slack daily, hey, can you give me a feedback for this candidate? It doesn't matter if you want it or not, you have to respond. That's why we are this motivator who helps to run the processes faster.
I think we just found the title of our video. So that's great. Because I mean, but it's the truth. I mean, again, I had this, I think it's the same thing when you look at tools like TRAFFIT and ATS. It's like tools are great. They help things organize, but it's very common that they also need that little bit of assistance or reminder. Like a tool is only going to do so much, right? It's so I totally get it. Now, Kasia, because I'm aware of time and I'm always trying to make these videos really precise and tight, I want to ask you something. Like, so obviously BeeTalents has a great reputation for sharing knowledge, sharing advice that other, really skilled people in HR that we've had on these videos have recommended you. What is the kind of hot topic right now that you guys are sharing knowledge about? What do people want to know? Kind of like, are people talking about recruitment during COVID or IT recruitment in 2020? What's kind of like the hot topic in recruitment right now for you guys?
I think people want to hear about how do other companies manage to hire, how come they are successful. And that's probably why we started to run our own podcast, BeeTalks. You can listen to it on Spotify, but it's in Polish.
It might be good for me still.
Yes, it might be good for you. And then we talk with various companies from Dog Planner, which has like fantastic PR, to Santander Consumer Bank. And we ask them like, how does it work for you that you do it in a proper way? And also people want to hear, because many people, they were convinced that after COVID, there will be plenty of candidates on the market and the hiring will go like this, which didn't quite happen. And they are surprised. And yes, they are surprised, like, why there were so many unemployed people. But it turns out that even though some people are unemployed, they are still looking for a company where they can grow, where they will have a good leader with a company which has, a good brand, and which, they will be just proud of joining. So like Pack Help also is a good example of a company. We have, plenty of clients, so I don't want to name few because the rest will be upset that I didn't name them. And it's very difficult.
I understand. Yes. No, but I mean, it's so, I mean, that sounds like a great resource, of course, because was there anything that from those podcasts that you were like, wow, that's a really good idea, I didn't think about that? What's kind of like, is there any kind of cool ideas around employee branding that any of your customers are doing right now that maybe someone that's watching this video can go away tomorrow and maybe try themselves?
About some ideas. So let me think about it. For example, Dog Planner, before COVID, they have cool meetups, and we talked with Marta about how these meetups helped, hire candidates. I think they tried to do online meetups during COVID. So maybe if someone would love to listen how they can implement it, they can go and follow the Dog Planner ideas.
Yeah.
But what else? It's quite hard to, come up with an example right now.
Why are you guys the best on the market for sharing knowledge? Like, what's the goal? What's the key? Like, do people look for things like transparency or just ideas, or they're looking for, like, because when you say things like they look for how other companies are doing things, I get that. I do it a lot in sales as well. But normally I'm doing that for one or two reasons. One is either I want to feel better about what we're doing and say, okay, the numbers look the same. So, I think that a lot of recruiters and HR people, they do need a little bit of a confidence booster from now and then. But the second thing is, like you said, just the idea, because recruitment hasn't really evolved fundamentally for a while, right? You find candidates, you onboard them, but it's the little pieces in between, right? It's like you said, it's the little, like, how, like, the attention that companies are now putting into the day one of an employee has changed dramatically in the last 10 years, let's say. So I can see how recruitment as a fundamental process is similar, but companies are putting so much time into the experience when you go on an interview or how you book a candidate and those kind of things, right?
So I think that first of all, the first area is like your brand as a company. So what do you post on social media? If you post only as a company, or if you post as well as employees, do employees like repost your post on LinkedIn as a company? Are they engaged? And I would say that the basic thing in this area is that if you are like honest, if what you say is real, or is it only for social media? And I think people are also looking for some data, you know. So I guess HR managers are doing tremendous work, because HR is super important, because they take care of people, of their working conditions, and their like day-to-day you know, like atmosphere in the office or remotely. And thanks to that, people are working more efficiently, and thanks to that, business is going better and better. So HR has an extremely direct connection with the success of the company, and I think this is super important to highlight. But very often HR people, they need data to be able to speak to so-called business, so that they can convince them that if you, as a hiring manager, you don't engage in the process, or you forget to give feedback and candidate is waiting for 2 weeks, we are losing the war for talent. And sometimes even someone from HR goes to someone from business and just says, so this business person say, oh, you are not right, they should wait because we are so awesome. But that's not how market looks like nowadays. So this is important. And the last area, I guess, more for recruiters, is about sourcing techniques. So what we are doing is that we are asking our clients, recruiters, people, friends, what they want to listen about, and we are posting webinars. We have inside books on our website, like, you know, the most important metrics for HR managers to measure and to present to business side. And we decided to open this postcard so that I believe that if we share good practices, if we show them, if we show people practical examples of how things should be done, then people are going to show them to others, and you know, this IT market will look much better.
I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, I really, again, I you know, I see that salespeople, we don't have a problem with sharing our best practices. We are very open and ready to tell. Marketers, they love to share when something goes right. But HR and recruiters, when they are improving their recruitment process, then first thought isn't, how am I going to share this information, right? And I wish it was, and I think that it's not their fault. I think that it's just about, like you said, getting that. First of all, they're still battling internally. So if they can't convince their business manager, how they're going to share this on a stage or on a platform. But let's really hope that changes really soon. In my opinion, you know, that's what I hope as well.
Yes,
so,
likewise.
Kasia, to wrap it up, what I would really like to ask, because I think, again, BeeTalents is a great source of knowledge. I think we got some really great ideas from you today. Where can people find out more about BeeTalents, about the content? You've got the podcast, you mentioned the website, I guess there is a blog. Where can people find out more?
So definitely on our website, BeeTalents.com. They can follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn. They can follow Ola, Pszczoła, me, Maciej, because we post very often these things. And they can just, you know, like connect with us on LinkedIn, ask us some questions. If anyone needs any answer, we are always happy to help and share some good practices. But I think our website and the Speed Talks on Spotify are really good sources of information. I hope so.
And the beauty is, like you said, you guys are personalities as well. It's not everyone behind the brand. People can connect to you directly. They can ask you
Yes.
questions, or etc. So
Yes,
I
of
think that's
course.
also why BeeTalents has such a great reputation, is because they know the people behind BeeTalents as well. It's not just this big brand that's behind. So Kasia, thank you so much. I'm sure that people are going to come and connect with you after the video. It was super insightful for me as well. I got some ideas that we're going to take back here for our next recruitment. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for being on Inside HR.
Thank you for the invite. It
All
was
right.
really
Thanks,
nice.
Kasia. We'll see you soon.
Yes, see you.
Bye. Bye.